Hello, hello, it's probably Sharon. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to go over a different technique on how to make this vintage tape. And I mean, I think we've all seen it. You've probably seen videos on how to do it. I found a different way to do it that saves you a little bit of ink. So just hang in there and we will get started. Okay, for this project, the best kind of ink for this will be alcohol inks. Oh, you can't really see that, can you? Like the Ranger alcohol inks are awesome. Or they have, you know, just like off brands on Amazon. That, I mean, this one, they're a lot smaller, but there was like 20 of them in the pack, all different colors. I'll put a link for these below if you're interested. And this case is actually kind of cool because my worry was they're going to tip over. You know, I put them in a box. I was afraid one of them would tip over, but this thing keeps them upright. And I mean, it's a little big for these, but it keeps them from tipping over, and it fits perfectly for the Ranger alcohol inks. So I've tried with distress inks and oxides, and it seems like they don't dry all the way. So the alcohol ink, I feel like, is the best way to go. I'm gonna grab a few of these out. Okay, and then for the tape, you want to get some transparent tape, like the tape you use when you're wrapping presents and where it's after Christmas. Hopefully you guys have some stashed away, you know, that was left over. Nowadays they have some that are satin finish, they have matte finish, and then they have like the regular, just the shiny stuff, which is what was popular and what was available years and years ago. So if you want to stay true to vintage and the period, it's probably best to use the really shiny stuff because that's what they had back then. Although any of these will work fine. I'm just going to use the satin because that's what I have right now. I'm just going to rip off some strips and put it down on this piece of parchment paper. I'm going to try to place them quite close together, just so we can, you know, not waste any ink. And, you know, normally I use a great big piece of parchment paper when I do this and do a ton of them at once. But where I'm trying to do this video and kind of keep, you know, don't want it to drag on too long, I'm just going to do a few. Okay, then masking tape, we can use that too. I'm going to peel off some of that, and although I don't normally use masking tape in my journals, not where it's visible, I do use masking tape, but it's usually to secure something that's not seen. But we'll try some while we're at it. And then, of course, box tape or packaging tape. I mean, it's a little thicker than the first tape we put down and stickier, but it's shiny, and it's kind of fun to just tear off little bits and pieces of it in wonky shapes, you know, when you're done. Okay, so here's the thing. When I first started doing some research on how to do this, I watched a few different videos, and I noticed they all pretty much did it the same. They would apply the ink with a brush or a makeup sponge. But when I tried it myself, I immediately noticed that the brush or the sponge was just soaking up the ink. I mean, yeah, the tape still had color on it, but the sponge and the brush were just soaking up so much of the ink. I just thought that was kind of a waste. So I thought, you could use something that's not so absorbent. It would save on, you know, wasting ink. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put down some of this. This is ginger, the color ginger. Just going to put some down along the tape. Totally missed that right there, didn't I? And then what I do is I just get a little piece of parchment paper, the same stuff this is stuck down to, and just kind of push the ink around with it. And this won't absorb the ink, so there's, you know, it's not going to waste any of your ink. And you can kind of do some cool designs on the tape with it. I think I'm going to let's do some latte. I'm going to put a little there because it didn't quite cover. Oh, that looks really cool. I might just leave that as it is. Yeah, that's one thing about the alcohol ink. If it's not dry, it'll just push the other color out of the way. So it looks really cool. But if you don't want it to push it out of the way, wait for the first color to dry. And you don't have to use 2 colors. You can just use 1. Let's try the masking tape. This is the color caramel or caramel. And you know what I forgot? I forgot to put on my gloves. But you know, I think so far I've been lucky. I usually put down the tape and then put my gloves on. But yeah, so far so good. All right, now let's do the box tape. I'm going to use some of the other brand, the off brand of alcohol ink on here too. This one's yellow. And let's do some ginger. And push that around with our paper. Now that looks really cool. So this doesn't take very long to dry at all. I would say within 5 minutes you'll be able to use it. So I'm just going to wait a few minutes and then I'm going to put some in a journal just to kind of see, you know, I'm sure you know how to use it, but I just thought it'd be fun to kind of use some of what we just made. Okay. This is pretty dry. So I'm going to go ahead and I just opened up one of my journals and I'm just going to add some things to it just to kind of show you how to use this tape. So what's nice about this is you can just kind of cut off how much you need. And then because I overthink, I always worry that it's going to lose its stickiness because it's been stuck down to something already. So I like to add a little bit of glue on the back just in case. It's not going to hurt anything. And then you can just put it right in the middle of this is just one idea. I'm going to put it right in the middle to make it look like it's holding the page in. Put another one. So doesn't that add a lot to it? And then as you can see here, we have a little tear in the page. So you can also, use it to, I put the tear there so that I could put tape on it to make it look a little more worn. So I'm just going to put a little bit of tape on that little tear. I'm going to wrap it around the end. Like that. But yeah, and then you can tape in, all kinds of things that you want. See, like I was going to put this here for like a pocket, and then there's the tag that goes inside. But you don't want to put too much or it'll look kind of funny, but now let me get a different color of tape. That's another good thing. You can do different colors. These are more yellowish, and the ones we did together are more brownish. So I'm actually going to put a little glue there. And then put some on here as well. I mean, the rest of this probably is not going to have anything, any more tape on it, but we'll see. So, I mean, this looks kind of cool because the tape goes underneath the frame. So, you know, it's adding some layers. Anyway, that'll go in there. Anyway, I hope this video was helpful. I'm hoping that you will enjoy this technique without using the brushes or the sponges to kind of help make your ink last a little bit longer. So please like and subscribe, and please leave me any comments you might have. You know, how do you do this? Have you tried this before? You know, what is your experience with it? And I hope to see you in my next video. Bye, guys.